William Ruto loves peace. Some people might argue that a man who was tried in the International Criminal Court for inciting violence could not be a peacemaker, but Ruto wants to prove them wrong. As president, he pushed forward the South Sudan peace negotiations, he tried to make peace in Congo's war, he even volunteered to mediate the South Sudan crisis, and although some of his efforts have been rejected, his mission of peace remains unchanged. In February, he donated another $1 million to assist civilians in Sudan. Ruto's passion for Sudan's peace is not new. 5 years ago, he travelled there as deputy president. Avoiding official meetings, he took a direct flight to a small gold mining town outside Khartoum, where he loaded heavy briefcases onto his privately chartered flight. What was in those briefcases? We can only assume, given Ruto's track record, that it was an awful lot of peace. But although Ruto has established himself as a peace lover, he does sometimes struggle to avoid taking sides. When RSF created an alternative Sudanese government in Nairobi, a lot of people were very upset. Ruto seemed biased, like he wanted one side to win. Luckily, Kenya's Secretary for Foreign Affairs came to the rescue, sharing a video from CNN. Kenya hosts a meeting and suddenly it's a scandal? Asked the newsreader. No, Kenya was paving the road to peace. Unfortunately, people quickly realized that the video was an AI fake. Ruto's peaceful reputation is now being tarnished by angry American senators and Sudanese generals. He's being accused of being selfish, corrupt, and doing deals with murderous militias. Some people are beginning to wonder if all that peace talk was some kind of cover-up. Was Ruto overcompensating for his dark side? Perhaps Ruto is not a peacemaker after all.
We are not believable. We speak with both sides of our mouths.
In 2008, Somali pirates captured a ship heading to Kenya. On board, they found a treasure trove of weapons, including 30 tanks. The secret cargo was destined for the war in South Sudan. Kenya was the shipping hub. President Mwai Kibaki knew exactly what was going on. When the US government complained about the shipment, he became angry. Kenya was helping to create a new state in South Sudan, something the American government also wanted. If some people made a bit of cash on the side, it wasn't the USA's business. The truth is Kenya has long been a regional hub for minerals, weapons, and illegal cash flows. Nairobi is a city of dirty deals and secret diplomacy. Representatives of the M23 Congo rebels have their headquarters in the city, and William Ruto has been a player in this underworld since his days as deputy president. In 2020, he was questioned by police about his links to a $400 million fraudulent arms deal. Polish representatives held a meeting in his offices with two of his staff. Tens of thousands of dollars changed hands. When CCTV footage was released, Ruto accused his rivals of trying to destroy his reputation. As president, Ruto has to fulfill the role of an international statesman, but he's been reluctant to give up his love of shady deals. Because of this, his foreign policy is two-faced. What he says is inconsistent with what he does.
And when you do that, you are considered to be duplicitous. You are not seen to be acting in good faith.
Since the start of the Sudan war, he has presented himself as an impartial mediator, a man whose main priority is to bring peace to the region. This is a man-made disaster, preached Ruto in February, condemning foreign powers, stoking the flames of war. In 2023, he was bidding to be the one to lead the peace negotiations between the Rapid Security Forces and Sudanese armed forces. Both sides agreed to work with Ruto, who was representing IGAD, a regional trading bloc. But then the Sudanese army started getting suspicious. At an IGAD meeting in June 2023, Ruto suggested foreign forces should be allowed to fight in the war in Sudan. He also made decisions which weakened Sudan's diplomatic position. After this, Al-Burhan refused to use Ruto as a mediator. Another Sudanese general was more vocal in his criticism. He invited Ruto to invade Sudan. The state that supports you and the mercenaries like you must also bring its army. Al-Burhan's suspicions were confirmed in November that year when Ruto arrived in South Sudan with the brother of Hemedti. leader of the RSF, a man under international sanctions. By December, Ruto had been removed from chairing IGAD. Far from being impartial, Ruto is heavily biased in favor of Hemedti and the RSF, a group accused by the US of carrying out ethnic killings in Sudan, but the rabbit hole goes deeper. RSF is backed by the United Arab Emirates. Hemedti controls gold mines and the minerals are transported directly to the UAE after mining. UAE is accused of arranging weapons sales to the RSF, including military drones. Sometimes these deliveries are disguised as humanitarian aid. Ruto's own links to the UAE have become clearer in recent months. In February, the RSF established its alternative government in Nairobi. Around the same time, Ruto offered $1 million in aid to help the Sudanese people. Just after this, the UAE gave a similar amount to Kenya as a loan. No details have been given on how Kenya's aid will be distributed. As money moves from the UAE to Kenya to Sudan, officials are discussing other funding opportunities. UAE is reportedly looking into supporting the expansion of Kenya's standard gauge railway. In January, the two countries signed an economic partnership agreement. This partnership also reaches into Kenya's underbelly. In December, the leader of a Saudi gold smuggling ring was outed in the Kenyan press. UAE and Saudi Arabia have a long-term rivalry. The exposure is just the tip of an iceberg, but it forced Al-Anisi Abdullah out of the Kenyan mineral market, opening up opportunities for buyers connected to the UAE.
They are doing business with the RSF chief of gold that is being gotten from that area, brought to Nairobi and taken to Dubai.
A country famous for its warmongering foreign policy and network of illegal gold smugglers is now one of Ruto's closest allies, and perhaps that shouldn't be a surprise. Ruto himself told the world the Sudan war is man-made. Behind the beautiful words, Ruto is doing the opposite of what he says. What he calls a peace mission is a mission to make the war worse. When he says he is neutral, there is actually a bidding war to win him over with the biggest paychecks and the dirtiest deals. When he says he is offering a solution to conflict, he is in fact creating more problems. Perhaps it's time to reassess those mystery cases smuggled out of Sudan by Ruto in 2020. There are two theories. A Kenyan newspaper argued they were filled with cash, perhaps connected to Sudan's previous dictator, Al-Bashir. More recently, a Sudanese publication has argued the cases were filled with gold belonging to Hemedti, kept and shared in safe storage in Kenya. But that's not the only thing Ruto has brought back to Kenya from Sudan. He has expanded the theatre of Sudan's war to Kenya. Why is Kenya intervening in Sudan's internal matters while simultaneously expecting no repercussions? Asked the Vice Chair of Sudan's Transitional Sovereignty Council. In the world of international diplomacy, you ignore a veiled threat like that at your peril. If you're an African student or professional looking to prepare yourself for international scholarship applications, why not check out Kupanda Digital Academy? For more videos like this, like and subscribe to the Africa Review.